Sarvadharmasthapakatvam Sarvadharmaswarupakaha Acharyanam Mahacharyo Ramakrishnaaya Te Namaha. O establisher of all the faiths, embodiment of all the religions, the greatest teacher among all the teachers, O Sri Ramakrishna, my salutations to you. Namaste, Pranam. With the ripe eye, you can start an organization. With the ripe eye, you get the command of teaching and preaching, of giving spiritual instructions, of lecturing, of giving sermons. And then that teaching, that preaching, which we do with the command from God, it has a lasting effect. Otherwise, just like this momentary creation, anything that is done with the unripe eye also has momentary existence. An organization will come into effect, no doubt, but it won't last long. Within a few months, within a few years, the organization will split, people will leave the organization, people will create new organizations, and they will start talking ill about you, because we are not selecting the good followers for that matter. We cannot select good followers unless and until we get a command from God. We cannot select good disciples unless and until we are instructed by God. Now you start it, now you do it, now you start seeking the devotees, the disciples. Then people will come to you only after one gets command from the God, and that will have a lasting effect. That was the teaching that Sri Ramakrishna had given to great Sri Keshab Chandra Sen on the way he was running the Brahmo Samaj. People were leaving, people were talking ill against him once having left his control. So Sri Ramakrishna says, you choose the disciples. Is there any good in making anybody and everybody a disciple? You should be very particular in selecting those who are going to follow you. And that you can only do when you get rid of that unripe eye. When you start behaving, you start realizing that you are just an instrument in the hands of God, then you will get the right kind of methodology how to run this organization. Then the God will provide you all the inputs. God will teach you how to go about it, not before that. Then after that, Sri Ramakrishna further continues what he had been teaching, what he had been talking to Sri Keshab. Then he said, I said to Keshab further, you should accept the Divine Mother. Now the Brahmos, they were practically, they didn't follow the path of idol worship. For them, it was only the formless aspect of the God that they were worshipping. They never believed, they never agreed, they never even accepted that God with form can also exist. They were all into the formless aspect. So Sri Ramakrishna says, very good, you are accepting, you are following the path of the formless aspect of the God, continue to do that, but don't negate, don't say that the Divine Mother, the primal energy does not exist. And then Sri Ramakrishna says, I taught him that Brahman and Shakti, they are identical, they are not separate. Then Sri Ramakrishna says, you should accept the Divine Mother, the primal energy. Brahman is not different from its Shakti. Don't say Shakti, I mean the Divine Mother, the Ma Kali, Ma Bhavatarini, Ma Durga, they are all not non-existent. It can never happen. Brahman is always accompanied with his Shakti. Brahman is not different from its Shakti. What is Brahman is also Shakti. As long as a man remains conscious of the body, he is conscious of the duality. And Sri Ramakrishna says that it is extremely difficult to practice this concept of the formless aspect of the God that you people are teaching. You still have that body consciousness. Are you devoid of body consciousness? No. If a pin pricks, you cry in pain. Oh my God. Your body consciousness you just cannot remove, you just cannot get rid of that body consciousness. And Sri Ramakrishna says, till this body consciousness is there, you are in the midst of duality. You are in the midst of the Dvaita. The moment this body consciousness is there, me and you, the two different things, they start getting created the moment we get this body consciousness. So Sri Ramakrishna says, with body consciousness, don't get into that habit of negating the Shakti and only following the formless aspect of the God as Brahman. Brahman and Shakti cannot be separated. Like the fire, wood and its burning power, they cannot be separated. The milk and its whiteness, they cannot be separated. Likewise, Brahman and Shakti, they are abhed, Sri Ramakrishna says. They cannot be separated. If you are accepting Brahman, you have to accept Shakti also, because they are all inherently composed. The Brahman and its power, the Adi Shakti. As long as man remains conscious of the body, he is conscious of duality. It is only when a man tries to describe what he sees that he finds duality. It is only when I find myself different from the other, the duality comes into existence. Without that, if I don't see myself as different from other, there is no duality. Then there is Advaita. If me and the other being, we are the same manifestations of that Brahman. We are the same manifestations of that ultimate truth. If I get that realization, what is there in me is also there in this entire creation. In each and every atom of this entire creation is filled with that same principle. If I get that realization, then there is no Dvaita, there is no duality. Then I see unity in that all diversity. Then for me, this entire creation is nothing but manifestation of that indivisible Satchidananda Brahman. So that is what Sri Ramakrishna taught Sri Keshab Chandra Sen. And then he said, Keshab later on recognized Kali. Then Keshab Chandra Sen later on, he started, he included the worship of Mother Kali as part of the practices, spiritual practices being followed by these Brahmo devotees. So Sri Ramakrishna says, later on he also recognized, because of Sri Ramakrishna's influence, Sri Keshab Chandra Sen, he also accepted the fact that the Brahman and Shakti are identical. They cannot be separated. So if I am worshipping formless aspect, I will also worship the Kali, God with form. And Sri Ramakrishna says, one day when Keshab was here with his disciples, I said to him that I would like to hear him preach. Now Keshab Chandra Sen was a spiritual leader also. So he used to preach, he used to give lecture, he used to give sermons. So Sri Ramakrishna, once when Keshab Chandra Sen with his party of Brahmo devotees, they had come to Dakshineshwar, Sri Ramakrishna requested him that I want to listen to you, talking to your devotees, preaching them and talking to them about God. And he delivered lecture in the Chandni. Chandni is a area in the complex of the Dakshineshwar Kali temple, just opposite, next to the western gate, entrance gate, which is leading towards Ganga and the bathing-ghat. So the Chandni, Sri Keshab Chandra Sen delivered the lecture. Sri Ramakrishna also listened to it. And then he said, then we all sat by Badi. He delivered a lecture in the Chandni. Then we all sat by the bathing-ghat and had a long conversation. After Sri Keshab Chandra Sen's lecture on some spiritual topic, they all then sat together and had a long conversation with him. I said to him, it is Bhagavan alone who is one form, who in one form appears as Bhakta and in another appears as Bhagavata. It is the same God. It is the same Bhagavan who in one form appears as Bhakta and in another form appears as Bhagavata. Sri Ramakrishna used to draw a triangle. Bhagavan, Bhakta and Bhagavata. Bhagavata is the scripture. So he always used to say, Sri Ramakrishna, that Bhagavan in one form is Bhakta and in another form is also the spiritual scripture, the Bhagavata. They are all one and the same thing. There is no difference between the God, the devotee and the scripture. They all are identical. So Sri Ramakrishna now says that I asked them to repeat it. All the Brahmos say, Bhagavan, Bhakta and Bhagavata are one and the same thing. So please repeat Bhagavata-Bhakta-Bhagavan, Sri Ramakrishna told the Brahmos. Keshab and his disciples repeated the words. For them, for that repetition, for understanding, for accepting the fact that the God, the devotee and the scripture are one and the same thing, they didn't have any hesitation. They accepted it nicely. And as Sri Ramakrishna told them, you repeat it. Keshab Chandra Sen and his Brahmo devotees also started chanting Bhagavan, Bhakta, Bhagavata, Bhagavata, Bhagavan, Bhakta, Bhagavata, Bhagavan, Bhakta, Bhagavata, and so as to imbibe upon the mind, so as to get a firm impression on the mind that all these three, they are one and the same thing, the God, the devotee and the scripture. Then Sri Ramakrishna said, I went a step further. Then I asked him to repeat Guru, Krishna and Vaishnava. Guru is the ultimate teacher. Krishna is the incarnation and Vaishnava is the devotee of the Krishna. Now Sri Ramakrishna says, okay, now you have accepted chanting of Bhagavan, Bhakta, Bhagavat. Now you chant Guru, Krishna, Vaishnava. Now there was a conflict, Sri Ramakrishna says. Now they didn't agree to that. Thereupon Keshab said, Sir, I should not go so far now. People will say that I have become an orthodox Hindu. The moment I accept the Guru, Krishna and Vaishnava as the same, Brahmos, they opposed to Vaishnavas. Brahmos, they opposed any kind of idol worshipping. They opposed every kind of incarnation worship. So he said, Keshab Chandra Sen finally told Sri Ramakrishna, I won't go that far. Because if I start preaching Guru, Krishna and Vaishnava to be the same, people will say, oh, this fellow, he has gone into the fold of orthodox Hinduism. He is not following the path of Brahmos. He is not following the path of worshipping the formless aspect of the God. So that is where Sri Keshab Chandra Sen stopped that day following the instruction of Sri Ramakrishna of chanting the Guru, Krishna and Vaishnava. He said, no, I cannot do that. I can chant the Bhagavan, Bhakta, Bhagavata. But this concept, although the concept is same, there is no difference between chanting of Bhagavan, Bhakta, Bhagavata and the Guru, Krishna and Vaishnava. There is no difference at all. But the second part, Sri Keshab Chandra Sen, he could not kind of tolerate it. He could not accept it because of his leading an organization which was found on the principle of worshipping the formless aspect of the God. So that was what the talk between Sri Ramakrishna and Sri Keshab Chandra Sen. Now Sri Ramakrishna further tells this present gathering that it is extremely difficult to go beyond the three gunas. The moment Keshab Chandra Sen, I cannot get into this recitation of the Guru, Krishna, Vaishnava. That was because of the influence of the three gunas on his personality. And Sri Ramakrishna says that it is extremely difficult to go beyond the three gunas. One cannot reach that state without having realized God. Only after realizing God, one can go beyond the three gunas. So it is kind of a paradox. For reaching God, we have to go beyond three gunas. And then at another occasion, it is without realizing God, we cannot get rid of the three gunas. So both are incidental for that matter. Going beyond three gunas and reaching God and then overcoming the influence of the three gunas, becoming a Triguna-atita. One cannot reach that state without having realized God. Man dwells in the realm of Maya. Maya does not permit him to see God. In the realm of Maya, in the realm of the three gunas, we cannot see God. We are always drowned into the whirlpool of the worldliness by the three gunas, the sattva, rajas, tamas, the three robbers that Sri Ramakrishna had told us about. The rajas and tamas, they are always pulling us down. Sattva, at least it is showing us the path. But again, it is just showing the path and leaving us over there. Now you go. Now I cannot come with you. So the three gunas are always trying to pull us down. Sattva, at least it is showing us the path of realization, the path of enlightenment, and then telling us, you go your way, I am going my way. I cannot leave my two companions, Rajas and Tamas. So Sattva has to be with them. Whether Sattva likes it or not, Sattva has to be with them. So with the three gunas, with the Maya in the creating that illusion, because of the three gunas, it doesn't permit, the Mahamaya doesn't permit us to see God. It has made him a victim of ignorance. The three gunas, the Mahamaya, have made a person, made a man, made a woman a victim of ignorance. We are drowned in the darkness. We are drowned in that ignorance, and we are just not able to realize the ultimate truth. We are not just able to see the light because of this darkness. This darkness of ignorance is preventing us to see the light of enlightenment, to see the light of knowledge. And then Sri Ramakrishna told one incident in his life, in the life of his nephew Hriday. Sri Ramakrishna is telling that incident, that once Hriday bought a bull calf here. When Hriday was Sri Ramakrishna's sister's son, he was a nephew, and he used to stay with Sri Ramakrishna at Dakshineshwar. He served him very meticulously, very devotedly, and he also troubled him a lot, no doubt. And one fine day he did something which was not good in the eyes of the owners of the temple, and he was shunted out of the temple complex. So this story Sri Ramakrishna is telling when Hriday used to stay with Sri Ramakrishna in the temple complex. Once Hriday brought a bull calf here. I saw one day that he had tied it with a rope in the garden so that it might graze there. I asked him, Hriday, why do you tie the calf there every day? Every day you are tying that calf is grazing. Why is it so that you are every day so much taking care of that calf so lovingly, with so attention, with so meticulousness? Then Hriday said, Uncle, he said, I am going to send this calf to our village. When it grows strong, I shall yoke it to the plow. And that was his plan. That was the agenda behind Hriday bringing that bull calf and tying it with a rope in the garden so that the calf could nicely have its meal. It can graze on the grass. The plan was, I will make this calf grow and I will take him to the native village, and then I will plow him to the yoke. I will tie him to the yoke and use him for plowing the field. That was the big plan that Hriday had in his mind. As soon as I heard these words, I was stunned to think, Sri Ramakrishna says, how inscrutable is the play of Mahamaya, of the divine Maya. Kamar, Pukur and Shihod are so far away from Calcutta. This poor calf must go all that way. Then it will grow, and at length it will be yoked to the plow. Look at his planning. He has bought this calf here in Calcutta, in Dakshineshwar, with the intention of one day I will send this calf back to my village. Sri Ramakrishna's village was Kamarpukur, and a few miles away from Kamarpukur was Hriday's village, Shihod. Incidentally, our Ma's parental home was also Shihod. So Sri Ramakrishna was wonderstruck with the play of divine Maya, that this poor calf, this poor bull calf, is one day going to be transferred all the way from Dakshineshwar to Shihod, to Kamarpukur, and then when it grows into a stout bull, there he would be put to yoke, and then he will be used to plow the fields. What a play of Mahamaya. The calf, the young little calf from Calcutta, from Dakshineshwar, going all the way. Those days, traveling between Calcutta and Dakshineshwar, the Calcutta and Kamarpukur or Shihod was not that easy. Nowadays, of course, we take a car and in 2 hours time, 2.5 hours time from Dakshineshwar, we are in Kamarpukur, Jairam, Bati, Shihod. Those days, people had to walk around, had to go by boat. And Sri Ramakrishna said, what inscrutable way of divine Maya, that this young calf, this fellow has brought him here in the temple garden with the intention of sending it, transferring it all the way to that distant native village. And when that calf grows stout and strong, that poor guy, he will be put to the yoke and then used to plow the field. This is indeed the world, Sri Ramakrishna says. This is indeed Maya. I fell down unconscious. Only after a long time did I regain consciousness, thinking about what an inscrutable way Mahamaya plays. Where is Dakshineshwar? Where is Shihod, Kamarpukur? And this poor calf, maybe just 1, 2, 3 months old, he is going to be taken there. Then he will grow into a big bull, and then he will tie to the yoke, and then he will plow the fields of that distant place, Shihod and Kamarpukur. My God, Sri Ramakrishna says, I just fell unconscious, and for quite a long time, he couldn't come out of that samadhi, thinking about the inscrutable ways of Mahamaya. This is how Mahamaya plays. This is how Mahamaya plays through her 3 gunas. And these 3 gunas, the sattva, rajas, tamas, they are preventing us from having that ultimate realization. They are preventing us from getting that ultimate enlightenment, the God realization. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Mah, Jai Swamiji.